Do you have something that you know you need to do, but your fear keeps stopping you? You're going to want to watch this. I'm Judith Hall, and today's message is about courageous action. We all have something that we know we need to do, something that we have to say, and yet there's something inside us that keeps us from doing it. That's the courageous action I'm talking about. God calls us to take courageous action, and we really want to. But instead, we follow fear. We follow the fearful thoughts that are in our head. The fearful thoughts like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Or what are they going to think? Who's they anyway? Do you know? Instead of taking the action, doing the thing, saying the thing, whatever it is, we dwell on those thoughts and we let those thoughts run the show. Behind those two thoughts are emotions. If we're thinking about, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? The emotion that's coming from that thought is uncertainty. We don't want to do the thing because we're looking for evidence. We're looking for some kind of proof, some kind of assurance that whatever it is that we're fearful about is going to be safe. And our brains are wired to keep us safe. If we're thinking about, oh my gosh, what are people going to think? We're thinking that thought because we don't want to feel the emotion that's going to be the result. The emotion being humiliation, embarrassment, shame, rejection. Those are the emotions that we're trying to avoid feeling. At the end of the day, we're trying to avoid discomfort. Our brain is wired to keep us safe. And so any emotion that's going to cause us distress is unsafe. Discomfort is unsafe to our brain. So of course, if there's an emotion there that we don't want to feel, our brain is going to get louder and louder. It is going to warn us. Our brain is telling us, if you feel embarrassment, you're going to die, which we know that's not true. When we don't have courage, when we're listening to those thoughts, we're listening and following the fear. Now, it's when we're looking for evidence and looking for assurances. Where in history did that happen before? In the Old Testament? In the Gospel? People wanted signs and wonders to prove Jesus was who he said he was. We still do it now. We want assurances. When we do that, we're not in faith. We're stepping out of faith because faith doesn't require assurances. Faith doesn't require tangible evidence. Faith only requires reliance and trust. Think about that courageous action as a door. Our faith is what compels us to go through the door, to take the faith step. When we go through the door, God meets us on the other side to show us what the next step is. But if we don't take that step and we hold back, then we're allowing our fears to dictate what we do. We can't grow if we don't take risk. Nothing changes in your life when you don't take a risk. In order to get to that thing that you want to do, it requires you to have that kind of blind faith, because faith is blind. Let's take today, for instance. Today I recorded 3 live videos. Now, of course, I had thoughts in my brain. Oh, nobody's going to watch those. Oh, why are you doing that? People are going to see your insecurities. It's not that I didn't have those fears, but I chose not to listen to them. I chose to do it anyway. I chose to take the courageous action, despite those sentences in my brain and the feelings that I was feeling. And that's what building courage requires. Building courage requires you to feel the emotions so that you can build the capacity to have that emotion. An emotion takes 90 seconds to process. So when my sound didn't show up on the finished live video and I had to re-record it, I had thoughts like, oh, somebody's gonna watch this video and go, what is she doing? But I had to be willing to feel the embarrassment. I had to be willing to feel possible rejection, possible embarrassment, yep. But I did it anyway. And when you choose to feel an emotion on purpose, because an emotion only takes 90 seconds to process, then you build your capacity to feel that emotion again. Then you'll say, oh, that wasn't bad. Oh, I could do that. That's no big deal. Each time you expose yourself to feeling something uncomfortable, you build your capacity, and the fear of it and the resistance of it lessens and lessens until it's a non-issue. But when you avoid feeling an emotion, you only build more resistance. You build its power within you so that it's this, you've built up this big scary thing that, yeah, your brain is like, I ain't touching that. And this is what I teach my clients how to do. How to single out the thoughts inside their heads that are keeping them from doing the things that they want to do. And then I teach them how to identify the emotion that the thought is bringing out. And then I teach them to let it happen and be okay with it. So I want to ask you, what are you resisting? What emotion are you avoiding? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, this is Judith Hall. Thanks for watching.